Welcome back to the channel. So tonight we are going to talk about the controversial topic of weighing yourself while you're losing weight. How often should you do it? How often do I do it? What do I recommend for my clients that I work with? And, as somebody who started off as a former morbidly obese chick, as somebody who started off fluffy and with a horrible relationship with the scale. In fact, for many years I didn't own one. And when I did own one, it was never out. It was like tucked away in the closet. And when someone would say, do you have a scale? I'd be like, oh yeah, it's somewhere. The battery is normally dead. And so the only way I knew my weight was when on the off occasion that I ever went to the doctor. But other than that, I didn't really know what I weighed. So we're going to talk about the scale tonight. Why I believe, what I have my clients do, what do I personally do. But before we jump into that, if you are new here on the channel, I want to say hi, hello, welcome, and I want to invite you to join our growing community here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. That will alert you when we upload here on the channel. It will alert you when we have a new episode of The Biggest Transformation, which is our reality weight loss YouTube show that airs every single Wednesday. And I would love to have you smash the like button, comment anything down below. Hey, hi, hello, hola, what's going on? Where are you watching from? What time of day is it? I always find it fascinating to know what time it is when people are watching. And if you are on live with me now, hi! I always love being on live because there's the live chat option so you can interact with each other, and we always have lots of members lots of cast members of The Biggest Transformation on live with us. We're on the 3rd season, which is kind of crazy. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's spend the next little bit talking about the scale. And here's what I'm going to invite you to do. I'm going to invite you to come to this call, video, topic, whatever you want to call it, with an open mind. Because if I rewind even 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I want to start with where I started with the scale. And the reason I want to start there is because what I found is in losing 161 pounds and in helping other people lose hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds realistically, probably tens of thousands of pounds at this point, most people start exactly where I started, which is a horrible relationship with the scale. And a lot of our behavior is learned, right? We learn, a lot of times from our parents, to find our worth in the scale, to find our worth in that number on the scale. And here's what I'm going to tell you. The scale itself is nothing but a tool. Period. End of story. Same thing as a builder uses a hammer to build a house. A scale is an instrument of measure that we use to measure our weight. In no way, shape, or form does the scale dictate your worth. It doesn't dictate what kind of human being you are. It does measure your activity as far as weight. It measures to know that what the activity you're doing, because here's the deal. The activity we're doing, what we're eating, how many calories we're burning in a day either causes us to gain weight, maintain our weight, or lose weight. Okay? So based on our activity, what we're eating and what we're doing, it causes one of 3 outcomes: to either lose weight, to stay the same, or to gain weight. And a lot of us wound up on a call just like this, on a video just like this on YouTube, because we've been doing those activities that caused us to gain weight. Now, listen, I was also really good. I maintained 288 pounds for years. So I finally got up to a amount of calories that I, wasn't out eating because, anyway, it takes a lot more calories to maintain 280 pounds than it does to maintain a lower amount of weight. And so I maintained my 288 for a hot minute. I'm not proud of that. I mean, it was, anyway, that's a whole nother call for a whole nother day. But the scale is going to tell us which activity we're doing. And as somebody who came in, as somebody who started with a horrible relationship with the scale, as somebody who started with a really, I looked at the scale all the wrong way. And I really acted like a third grader with the scale. So we're going to talk about 4 different reasons why I'm an advocate for weighing yourself every day. There, I just let the cat out of the bag. I've tried all different ways. I've tried not weighing yourself ever. I've tried weighing myself once a week. I've tried weighing myself once a month. I've tried weighing myself once a year. I've tried all the things. And what I'm going to tell you is after years and years and years of losing weight and gaining it, after years and years of being a weight loss failure, of wanting to lose weight, and there were seasons where I lost weight only to go gain it all back, there's only one way that has helped me lose weight continuously, but also maintain it. Because the key to weight loss isn't just how much weight you can lose. Because if you go lose a lot of weight and then you gain it all back, what was it all for? Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 reasons tonight why I believe every single person on the planet should be weighing themselves every single day. Number one, I was going to say this is the biggest one, but they're all pretty big, but I believe this is one of the biggest ones, is building a healthy relationship with the scale. Building a healthy relationship with the scale. The scale is an inanimate object. But so often we find our worth in it. We feel like it's attacking us, and people will start a diet, they'll start working out, and they'll be like, yes, here we go. Day 1, I drank water, I ate vegetables. They get on the scale, they didn't lose 4 pounds, and they're like, F you, stupid scale. Like somehow it's the scale's fault that we didn't get the desired outcome, and so the scale is a jerk. No, the scale is an inanimate object. The scale is a tool that helps us measure. And so, but for most of us, we have more than a decade of hating the scale, of literally stepping on the scale and depending on what it says. Like literally allowing the number to allow us to have a good day or a bad day, allow us to feel good about ourselves or bad about ourselves. We've actually made decisions to keep on with a program or to quit a program, to quit a diet, to quit a workout based on the number on the scale. And being overweight is 100% emotional. It's not logical, it's emotional. Because if I told you, is overeating logical? Well, we all know we shouldn't overeat. We all know we shouldn't go through the McDonald's drive-thru and the Taco Bell drive-thru in the same day. Like we all logically know that, but we wind up making decisions based on emotion, which always leads us away from our goals, especially away from our health goals. And so building a healthy relationship with the scale. And when something is attacking you, when something is your nemesis, when something is your enemy, and so often us fluffy people, we view the scale as the enemy. I've worked with so many clients and like, Carmen, I just can't with the scale. I'm like, what do you mean you just can't? It's a freaking piece of plastic. What do you mean you can't? It's got glass and I just can't, if I weigh myself every day, that just doesn't work. It makes me feel like crap. Well, no, nothing can make us feel like crap without our permission, without our help. And what I'm going to tell you is if you don't develop a healthy relationship with the scale, how do you measure your progress? How do you really figure out if what you're doing is working? And so the only way to develop a healthy relationship with the scale, and I've tried lots of different ways, again, weighing myself weekly, weighing myself monthly, avoiding the scale, because there's this whole thing in diet culture that says avoid the scale, don't care what it says. But if my goal, and I did that for a long time, and I wound up on the hamster wheel, spinning my wheels, going nowhere fast, just trying to just feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about myself. I was 288 pounds, and no matter how much I avoided the scale, I did not feel good. I did not feel good about the fat on my stomach. I didn't feel good about, looking naked in front of my husband. I didn't feel good. And no matter how much I avoided the scale, it didn't make me feel good. The issue was when I got on the scale, it was confirmation of how heavy I was. It was confirmation that, all right, here I saw proof that yes, I'm morbidly obese. And it wasn't until I finally got to a place where it's like, no. And it was literally having to remind myself of this over and over and over again, and working on it and working through it, not avoiding the problem. Because what we avoid, what we ignore, keeps control over us. And it was like, gosh, Carmen, think about this. Like, you are a grown woman. You're a mom. You're a mother. And you're allowing this freaking scale to control you. And it was even a level deeper of, I've got kids. I've got kids that are watching me. And if I step on the scale and I'm like, oh man, freaking scale. If that's my reaction, what am I teaching them? I'm teaching them to find their worth in the scale. I'm teaching them to have a dysfunctional relationship with the scale. Versus my kids from the time they were little, even from the time they could not even walk, they would crawl on the scale and sit on it. Just out of habit, because they model what we do. And it was like, wow, at first it was using it to teach numbers. And even now it's like, okay, awesome job, Liberty. You're 54. What's the scale say? 54.1 pounds. Awesome. It's never used to make my kids feel good or bad about their weight. Their weight is their weight. It's never talked about as a good or a bad, or you're too skinny, or you're too heavy, or you gotta go on a diet. No, never. It is simply information. Simply information. As their mother, if I notice they're below weight, well, I'm in charge of the food that comes into my home. I prepare the food. I can prepare higher calorie food. If they are overweight, I'm also in charge of the food, what comes into the house and what gets made. So I can simply buy healthier food, make healthier food without them even being made aware of it. And so can you imagine if we all grew up with a healthy relationship with the scale instead of like hating it, how beneficial that would have been? That's okay though. Don't let the freaking scale and your bad relationship with it be your Achilles heel to getting your health to where you want it to go. Number 2, the scale, again, is a tool of measurement. So what the scale tells us is if you're on a diet, or you're working out, or you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to get healthier, or even if you're trying to gain muscle, if you're trying to improve your health in any way, the scale is going to tell you if what you're doing is working. The scale is going to tell you if the activity, the effort you're putting in is actually working. Because if you're putting in all this effort and it's not working, that's where frustration comes in. And you can only stay frustrated so long before you quit. And again, with, being on my own, losing weight myself and finally going from being a weight loss failure to actually succeeding and then helping other people do it. When someone's not losing weight, it typically is a little tweak. They're in the gray zone somewhere. They're not following directions somewhere. They've got one little part of the recipe that just needs to be tweaked. Think about it. If you make homemade biscuits, the only difference between them being fluffy, airy, high biscuits and hockey pucks is the difference between 1 teaspoon of baking soda or 1 teaspoon of baking powder. The smallest ingredient in the biscuit. If you do 1 teaspoon of the wrong one ingredient, you're going to end up with hockey pucks. 1 teaspoon of the other one, you're going to end up with the most glorious, buttery, high, fluffy biscuits. 1 ingredient. Mess up 1 ingredient, and it literally makes all the difference inside of your biscuits. It's the same thing inside of weight loss. It can literally be one simple thing, one area that we're messing up that can cause us to not have results. But we don't know that if we're not tracking on the scale. And when I first started weighing myself every day, and I made it not an option, and I got a new scale, and I got it out, and I actually set it on my bathroom floor. I didn't have it put away in the closet, and I started weighing myself every day. I would love to tell you that this was like all glorious and amazing, and every day I had an amazing attitude, and every day I just flipped the switch, and I was like, oh. No, not how it took a minute. It took a minute for me to go from finding my worth in the scale to realizing this was just information and it didn't define me. And so there'd be days, especially the days where I got on it and I had dropped a pound. I was like, oh, yes, yes. Like I had done all the things and then I saw the result I wanted on the scale. I was like, oh, it's working. I love you, scale. And then I would get on the scale and it would like flip me off and stay the same. And I was like on point and I was like, you mother effer, like what the, you know what? And it was really getting through that battle of, no, Carmen, every day you're not going to drop weight. You're not going to drop weight every single day. That's just the truth of the matter. And how serious are you about your goal? Are you only going to be here and doing the activity as long as you're getting the results? Is your getting better health conditional on what the scale says? How bad do you really want the thing that you say you want? And it was really having to ask myself these tough questions. And, you know, the answer for me was, I was like a fair weather fan when it came to my health. I was willing to do the things. I was willing to do the tough things until I didn't see the result I wanted. And can I tell you, it took me 13 months to lose 161 pounds. The entire 13 months, I weighed myself every single day. And almost every week, I felt, again, my feelings told me that the scale hated me, that it was a battle every single week, that it was barely moving. Oh, the scale sucks. That's how I felt. That's what my feelings told me in the middle of me losing 161 pounds in 13 months. Now let's pause for a second. If you heard that number correctly, that's a correct number, 161 pounds. That's a lot of freaking weight. That's more than what I weigh now, significantly, that I lost in just over a year. The truth was, I was losing a crap ton of weight super fast. That was the truth. But my feelings told me this was a battle. It was a struggle. The scale hates me. Oh, come on, just move a little bit. Just move a little bit. It wasn't until I got on the other side of losing the weight that I was like, wow, that was fast. But in the middle of it, man, it felt like a battle. And so again, your feelings, especially when it comes to your health, especially when it comes to your weight, your feelings are always going to lead you away from your goals. So the scale is going to tell you if what you're doing is working. And if you're trying to lose weight, if you're doing the right activity, the scale should be going down. It should be going down. Maybe not every day, but every week. Every week. It should be trending down. All right, number 3. The scale is going to help you figure out your body. It's going to help you figure out your body. Believe it or not, our body has a way that it works. Our body reacts to certain foods. For me, if I eat a lot of carbs at night, it doesn't matter if I stay in a certain calorie range. If I eat I could fast all day long and drink all my water and eat a giant tub of popcorn at 9 o'clock at night. Be under my calorie count for the day and my weight's still going to pop up because all those carbs at night for me is going to pop me up. If I don't drink all my water, my weight loss is slower. I have this one time of the month, you might have it too, that no matter what I do, no matter how perfect I am, the scale's barely going to budge. But I know after that week's done, I'm going to have a big drop. And so throughout this process, I've learned my body. I've learned how my food reacts to I've learned how my body reacts to certain foods, certain salt intakes, certain activity, certain times of the month. It's so funny is as I'm working with clients, they'll even figure out that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, their body doesn't drop any weight. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they'll like stay the same. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then all of a sudden, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they'll drop 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds inside of those 3 days. And so these are things that you would never know about your body if you're not monitoring it every single day. You wouldn't know what foods affect your body, what foods cause you to maintain fluids, what foods cause you to bloat, what foods cause you to not lose weight. You wouldn't know any of those things because listen, I didn't know what foods, I was a carb-loving machine. I loved carbs and I ate them all at night, comfort food in front of the TV, always. But going through this process of weighing myself every day has completely helped me to learn my body and know how it reacts to certain things and certain times of the month as well as the week. Number 4, and our fourth and final point for my case on why you should weigh yourself every single day, is accountability. Accountability. Here's the truth. The truth was I didn't weigh myself I can remember weighing myself at 180 some pounds. And then next thing I knew, I was like 220. It was like, wow, where did those 30 pounds come from? Now, obviously one would say, well, Carmen, you should know you had to buy bigger clothes. Well, yeah, but then you start buying things with elastic and they stretch. So you don't always realize how much you're gaining, or you just go buy a bigger size and it happens little by little. And then all of a sudden it's like 230, then I'm like 260. Holy crap, there's another 30 pounds. Then I'm 288. Holy crap, there's another 28 pounds. And there was just no accountability. I basically eat according to my cravings. I ate according to what I wanted, not according to my goals. Eating according to my goals, what was that? I mean, some of those fit, skinny people did. I mean, whatever. But I had no accountability. None at all. And so today, my scale goes everywhere with me. And it's not because I'm obsessed with my health. It's not because I'm obsessed with maintaining whatever. It's not because I worship my body. It's because I want to stay at good health. I don't ever want to go back to morbidly obese. And I know that I was a morbidly obese woman for a very long time. And I know that she is in here fighting to get back out. And I got to keep that broad on a tight leash. And there's nothing wrong with who I used to be. But the 288-pound Carmen, the 288-pound me, wasn't set to live a long time on this planet. She didn't have the marriage she wanted. She wasn't comfortable and confident in her own skin. She didn't have the energy to play with her kids. She couldn't even fit on a roller coaster or go, kayaking or skydiving or any of these things that I wanted to do. And so my scale goes with me everywhere that I go. Why? Because it's accountability. Now I'm maintaining my weight since 2016, I've been maintaining my current size, a size 2, even through a 3rd pregnancy. And when I'm on vacation, and today I live a life of 80-20, which means 80% of the time I eat the healthy stuff, 20% of the time I eat whatever I want. It's balance. I live a life of balance when it comes to my food. So I still enjoy all my favorite foods. I still go on vacation and have, French fries and pizza and cheeseburgers and ice cream and brownies all in the same day. All in the same day. Those are really fun days. Why? Because I still love crappy food. It's not like I got to this size and all I love now is broccoli and grilled chicken. No, I still love ice cream. I still love pizza. I still love French fries with cheese and bacon. I still love those things. Sorry, I'm throwing things at you now. But it's all about balance. So for me, even during the freedom phase where I'm maintaining my weight, I still take my scale. Why? Because I still want to know where I'm at. I still want to there's several habits that you develop along the road of getting healthy. There's several habits you develop along the road of weight loss. But if you want to lose it and actually keep it off, then there better be some accountability built in. Because without accountability, we will lead ourselves to destruction in business, in marriage, in finances, in our health. We live in a world where more than 70% of the world has a weight struggle. They don't want to, but they do. It's harder than ever nowadays to maintain a healthy weight. Why? Because there's so much crap food everywhere. There's holidays and there's parties. And so accountability is key to getting results and then keeping them. And I've worked too hard for my good health just to let it go back to where it was. And so at the end of the day, this is a personal decision that everybody has to make for themselves. But what I'm going to tell you is I believe wholeheartly that everybody who's trying to lose weight should weigh themselves every day. I believe anybody who's trying to maintain a good health, not just get good health, but maintain good health, should weigh themselves every day. It's just like running a business. You can't run a business without knowing your numbers. You can't run a business and say, you know what? Don't ever look at the checking account. Just figure it out, feel it out, see how you feel. And if you bounce some checks, that's okay. You don't need to look at your bank account. If having a low balance in your bank account makes you feel bad, don't look at it. No. How do you ever grow your finances or your business if you don't look at where you're at? How do you get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're starting? Anybody who's successful started with not a big bank account, but they've built a big bank account over time. They've built a big business over time. It's the same thing with your health. In order to get to where you are, in order to get to where you want to be, you've got to know where you're starting. And there's no shame in where you're starting. It just is where you're starting. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is what it is. It's just where you're currently at. And we've all got to start somewhere. And so I could keep going on this, but I think you get the point. Let me know in the comments, what do you currently do? Are you currently like a weigh myself every day kind of person? Are you like a no, Carmen, I'm where you were. I have a horrible relationship with the scale, but this makes sense. And I just want to encourage you to try it on for size. Just try it on for size. And so before you leave, make sure to smash that like button. Give me a comment down below. And we will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, with another episode of The Biggest Transformation. And then we will be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another live here on the channel. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week.